For my friends at Roller Auction, got one of my favorite auctions that is open for bidding right now. A government fleet vehicle and equipment auction that's got SUVs, sedans, pickup trucks, utility trucks, dump trucks, police vehicles, trailers, various municipality equipment, and so much more. Like I said, it's open for bidding right now. It will be ending on October 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning. One of my favorite auctions. Go see it all and get yourself a great deal at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
Samantha Flanagan here for Flanagan Law. If you find yourself in a car accident, do not tell the insurance company you are fine. They will hold that against you even if you end up with medical bills 3 months later. Protect your rights. Look for the Shamrock. Go with Flanagan Law.
Peyton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
The cost of everything is still out of control, and many of us are relying on credit cards to cover essentials. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. Americans collectively owe over $1 trillion in credit card debt. You might have considered reaching out to my friends at American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. Well, there's good news. They've created a smart equity loan, a solution designed to help you take control of your finances without touching your current mortgage. Unlike a HELOC, which can have varied interest rates, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate. That means one predictable monthly payment, giving you peace of mind. This loan allows you to leverage the equity in your home to pay off high interest debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your existing low mortgage rate intact. It only takes 10 minutes to get started with no upfront or hidden fees. Call American Financing today and start saving now at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Most people don't think about their garage door until it stops working. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. There's never a good time for your garage door to break, whether you're rushing to work or you're trying to get the kids to school. We know how much you rely on your garage door. That's why we offer same-day repairs, because life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Over 90,000 five-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage door is what we do, but making your life easier and your home safer is why we do it. Families trust us because we deliver, and we'd be honored to earn your trust too. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that person that says this after ordering your remodeling project. Hi folks, Dan Cicchini, owner of Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. Simply put, we make people happy by being particular, just like you. 800-362-8370.
Meet Slate, the most personalizable, affordable pickup/SUV/ whatever you want it to be. Learn more and reserve yours at slate.auto.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver.
You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Rolling on a Monday. Rocking and rolling, Mike Rice and Dante Gomez for the next hour. And glad to be with you. Glad you are hanging out with us on this Victory Monday. We get to wrap up Victory Monday, as always. Well, we get to wrap up Overreaction Mondays, too. And it's both today. Dante, how are you? Did you enjoy the Broncos game yesterday?
I did enjoy the Broncos game.
That?
I thought you were going to ask if I enjoyed my Frosty, which I did enjoy as well.
Well, that's good. I mean, I don't want to start with that. I'm glad you brought it up. I paid off my debt, Dante, and it was a week. Well, maybe I guess a week late, only because that was the request that you made. But you guys might recall a week ago Saturday when the Buffs played BYU and the Rams played Washington State, Dante picked the Buffs and Rams to both lose, and he said, I feel so confident that if either one of those teams win one of those games, I'll get you a Frosty, Mike. And I'm all, okay, I'll take that bet. And, of course, the Buffs blew a 14-point lead. The Rams are nowhere to be found. And so I paid off my Frosty debt. So there it is. And we both had vanilla.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Is that your flavor?
I'm good at vanilla or chocolate.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever.
I'm not too picky when it comes to, any Frosty's a good Frosty. That's what I always say.
That's exactly right. So it was good. It was fun. And I thought the way the timing worked out to do it on a Victory Monday was kind of appropriate.
It was fitting. I think, the Broncos are having a good time. We're having a good time here. It's just, good vibes in Denver sports.
Yeah, good vibes as well. We're going to kind of keep the good vibes rolling through this show up until 7 as we started off against the Broncos. Good baseball going on tonight, Dodgers and Phillies. Phillies just took the lead as the MLB.
Dodgers took the lead.
What did I say?
Phillies.
Okay. You're right. See, it's really hard for me to say the Dodgers took the lead. It's not something that I like to say. And that's having grown up in the Bay Area, being a Giants fan back in the day. Not so much now, but yes, the Dodgers took the lead in the 7th. And that's where we stand, and they're still threatening. So, pretty good playoffs so far. Pretty good MLB playoffs. We might have to discuss here as we get closer to the World Series. But, Dante, the Broncos rallied for what was an improbable and impressive and, in some respects, a stunning win. And everything came together in the fourth quarter yesterday after they entered that quarter trailing 17-3. And they dominated that fourth quarter. And if you guys want to join in, you know how to do it. RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. And I want to start with this, Dante, because, as I'm watching that game, I'm thinking, I'm thinking about the offense and going, when are these guys going to break out a little bit? When are some things going to come together? Because through 3 quarters, they couldn't do anything offensively. At what point during that game yesterday did you start to think, they just might get this done?
Yeah, I think it was when Bo Nix started just completing a bunch of his passes there.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He had one drive particularly, I'm going to try to pull it up here, but it just felt like he was just, bang, 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 like every pass he was throwing, was to an open receiver one, so credit to Sean Payton, but he was making the right throws, making the right decisions, throwing a very accurate ball, hitting these guys in the hands. Once that happened, I was thinking this offense is moving the ball. Evan Ingram was getting involved there for a while as well, catching the ball. So that was kind of the turning point for me with this offense.
Yeah, and honestly, there was a point kind of midway to late-ish in the third where I thought – I never thought that at that point of the game, after Philly went up early in the third 17-3, I never thought, oh, yeah, the Broncos are going to be fine. Certainly it wasn't that. They weren't playing well enough offensively at that point. But it did cross my mind about midway through the third when Philly was starting at their 9-yard line after a punt. I thought, and this was Philly's the possession after Philly had scored in the third on the Barkley touchdown catch. I thought if the Broncos can pin them deep here, and if they just get one score to make it a one-score game, you just never know what can happen. And eventually they did. They started the drive with just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they're able to go 64 yards in 10 plays and get within 17-10. Once it was 17-10, Dante, then I thought, okay, you never know. Because in a one-score game with that defense, the Broncos are going to have chances, I think, in most games to either tie the game, take the lead, what have you, when it's on the line.
Yeah, and so that is the same drive I was talking about here, where yeah, again, Bo Nix was just completing every pass, it felt like. But yeah, that's when I started to feel confident in this team. And the Eagles' offense had struggled to that point in the second half. They hadn't really gotten a lot going there. So it felt like the Broncos, all they had to do was just show some sort of life, rally their defense a little bit too, because the defense has been playing well, but you can only play well for so long if your offense is punting the ball multiple times throughout the game like they were. So to me, that was definitely, they showed some life, and then the Eagles defense, or not the Eagles, the Broncos defense fed right off of it.
Yeah, I want to also explore this, Dante, the fact that I think a lot of us thought that a game like this was in the Broncos, and I had a good feeling through the week that they seemed ready, even coming out of a game against the Bengals, who obviously aren't any good, and they weren't any good here last Monday night, when the Broncos soundly beat them 28-3. But I just felt that watching the offense in particular that night, that the flow seemed to be better, just the whole operation seemed to be better, and it just felt like a team that was ready to do something significant and take that next step. And the Broncos are trying to take steps in building to what they want to be, which is an elite team that makes consistent deep runs in the playoffs and towards Super Bowls.
Yeah, and we've seen Sean Payton, is at his best in these big games when he's going up against a tough opponent. We saw it in Buffalo 2 years ago when Russ was the quarterback. And we've seen it sprinkled in throughout, in Kansas City at Arrowhead last year. We saw it as well. So Sean Payton's at his best in these big games. I'm going to counter with a question for you.
Yes.
Were you surprised the Broncos were able to get this win, given that they didn't play perfect football? I think while they did play pretty well, obviously well enough to beat the defending Super Bowl champions, I think there's still a lot left for this team to, play even better.
I completely agree with that last part. And no, I was not surprised. Now, when they're down 17-3 and they're basically doing nothing offensively, I wasn't confident. I mean, I didn't feel great about what I was watching offensively. Loved what the defense was doing. Was actually a little bit surprised that the Eagles weren't running the ball more. I mean, your best player is Saquon Barkley, and Barkley's not getting any touches. And that did surprise me. And I thought that helped the Broncos for sure. But it didn't surprise me that they were able to come back, because I've just felt like this team is good enough to accomplish and start accomplishing those things. And yet, when you're down 17-3 after 3 and the offense was futile, I mean, it didn't look good. And from that standpoint, Bo Nix talked about whether or not he felt the game was ever out of reach.
Not really. I thought our defense kept us in the game for the longest, and after the first 3 points, we just literally did nothing for about a while, and then we finally went down the field and scored, got some tempo, and then you look up and there's still a lot of fourth quarter to be played, and so we got the ball again and knew we had to go do it again, and then the 2-point, and then after the 2-point, we just got some great momentum, and we just played with that for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Dante, once Bo got rolling on that one drive that was capped by the Dobbins 2-yard touchdown run that brought him back within 17-10 early in the fourth quarter, that drive that crossed over late third, early fourth, something shifted right there. All of a sudden, the Broncos seemed to go from a team that believed they could win, that maybe were even more confident that they were going to win at that point. There was still a lot of work to do, but they went out and did that work. I just thought it was so impressive.
Yeah, it felt like they were the aggressor there in that fourth quarter, where they weren't waiting on the Eagles to do their thing. They went out and took the game. And usually it's the opposite. Usually the Eagles are the ones that are beating these teams and, running the ball on them at will and eating that clock. And it just felt like the Broncos could kind of move the ball at will, in that fourth quarter there. So they became the aggressor. They went out and took the game. And I think part of that does come from the culture that Sean Payton's built here and the belief that he has in the team and the belief that the team has in itself at this point too. It didn't feel like, obviously it was a very big game for this team. Playing the defending Super Bowl champion. You have 2 losses this season that you probably shouldn't have had, but it never felt like they were punching up in weight class. It felt like those two teams deserved to be on the same field, and that's how the Broncos saw the game. That's how Sean Payton saw the game. So I think a lot of that does come from the culture that he's instilled in this team.
Yeah, it was so impressive. It truly was. And then when you think about the comeback, they get the Dobbins touchdown. They're down a score. Philly takes over at its own 28-yard line, and they go 3 and out. Don't even get a first down. And there was a 7-yard run. Actually, they did get one first down. They got 7, and then Hurts completed a short pass for 7, but on 3rd and 13, there was a holding call in there. So on 3rd and 13, they get the J-Max sack, and they get the ball back right away. And Dante, we can talk about defenses finding ways to come up with big stops. That one was early in the fourth quarter, but and yes, they would need subsequent stops. A stop like that, though, keeps the momentum going, gets the offense right back on the field. Maybe at that point, Philly's second-guessing a little bit, going, this is a one-score game, and now the Broncos start controlling tempo on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, the pass rush was getting after Jalen Hurts pretty well. He didn't have a lot of time to make a lot of these throws, and the secondary was, that wasn't a perfect game by the secondary, but they came around with some key deflections and just getting their hands in there on some of these passes from Hurts. So I think the secondary started to get less penalties, whether that's the refs not calling what they were calling earlier in the game or whatever you want to put that on. But I think the pass rush was the key to that. I mean, Nick Bonito got heated up there in the second half, but it was more than him. Zach Allen was getting home there. So just their ability to they made the Eagles' offensive line look average. And the Eagles' offensive line is not average. No. But the way that the Broncos were able to get after Hurts and make him uncomfortable, it was very impressive to me, and to me, that's going to be one of the lesser talking points, but a massive impact on the Broncos' ability to win that game.
And this goes back to what we touched on a moment ago. In what world should Jalen Hurts be throwing 38 times and the Eagles rushing 11 times in that game? I don't get it. I thought the Eagles helped the Broncos in that regard. Do you?
Yeah, no, I think they did. But I also think the Broncos defense played a big role in that, because it wasn't like Saquon was running all over them in the first half. They were making Saquon earn every carry that he had. They were swarming the line, and you saw the commentators of the game pointing that out about how a lot of the Broncos defense was that one high safety. So they were able to load the box up more, and they were kind of daring the Eagles to throw it. And the Eagles couldn't do it. They were not able to take advantage of the looks the Broncos were giving them. And again, I think that's a big credit to the pass rush and then the secondary just making very timely plays and getting their hands, in there on certain throws and making them uncomfortable.
Mike and Dante with you on Denver Sports Tonight. Victory Monday for the Broncos as we go over some of the key points of this Broncos win over the Eagles. On the RamosLaw.com text line from the 6629, Bo did take his accuracy pill at halftime. It took a few minutes to kick in. There's probably some truth to that. But I want to ask you, Dante, when you look at the whole scope of the game, what the Broncos were finally able to get going offensively and then make plays, and then defensively just play so solidly through, I thought, the entire game. Not perfect football, but pretty darn good football against one of the elite teams in the league, and certainly, as we know, the defending champion. Was there an area or a player that you look back on and go, that was more encouraging than anything else? What this guy did really was something I wanted to see, or the way the Broncos did A, B, or C is something that moving forward I'm so encouraged by.
Yeah, I thought McMillan had a great game in that
interesting
in that inside corner spot. I thought he played really well. There was still some of the issues that we've seen, and Riley Moss didn't play a perfect game. And one of my big keys on Friday was Alex Singleton being able to cover. He didn't have a great game doing that either. So the Broncos were able to overcome Alex Singleton not playing great, overcome Riley Moss not playing great. But I mean, the defensive line, I don't know if I can give it to one individual if you were, I guess, Nick Bonito. But the defensive line in general, I think, was super impressive, like I said. And then, I'm going to go with McMillan on that inside corner as well.
Yeah, I will go on the other side of the football, and I just like the way they continued to get Evan Ingram involved. I do.
Oh, did you not ask me defensively?
Oh, I said either one.
Oh, was it either one? Okay,
Either
I
one.
thought you asked me defensively
No,
only.
I mean either one. But I mean, you make a great point. And we'll flip it around. So for you, it was defense. I'll start with offense. And Ingram, with 4 catches, 6 targets, had the big touchdown that tied the game and set up the 2-point call by Sean. I think that obviously with the injury and some of the issues that Ingram had the first couple of weeks, I think we saw him start to get reacclimated against the Bengals with the 7 targets and the 4 catches. I thought there were instances in that game where the Broncos said, look, we're just going to toss this one to you, get you involved, and start to make you feel like you're a part of things. And then they seemed to build on that a little bit. Again, the yardage wasn't tremendously high, 33 yards, but he had the long catch that was so important, the 16 or 17-yarder in the second half as the Broncos were coming back. I think for those who were, I was starting to hear rumbles. I know you were too. Where's the Joker? Where's Evan Ingram? What's going on? How come the Broncos aren't using him? Just hold the phone. I think he's on his way, knock on wood, health permitting, to being a big part of this offense. I was really encouraged by that.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to add on top of that, I think Evan Ingram's ability to get open and make plays, and I think Troy Franklin's ability. He didn't have a bunch of catches, but I think both of those guys, when they're playing well and the defense has to respect them, that opens up Cortland Sutton a whole lot more, because I don't think it's, breaking news here, but Bo Nix is trying to get that ball to Cortland Sutton. That's his guy. That's his number one, and it's kind of a big drop-off after that. So if you can get guys like Franklin and Evan Ingram involved, that's going to help Sutton so much more as the game progresses, and just make those defense be true in their defenses and not shade over Sutton as much. So I think the Ingram and Franklin performances really helped the entire offense become more balanced.
So we mentioned that drive that the Eagles had after the Broncos got within 17-10 on the Dobbins touchdown. Broncos force a quick punt. They start at their 28, just over 11 minutes to go. First play was Bo to Ingram for 18 yards to get out near midfield. That's the kind of production at that spot that the Broncos have been sorely missing. And to see Ingram start that drive with that kind of play, and then he capped the drive with the 11-yard touchdown catch, I mean, brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
And then we haven't talked about him much yet, but I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins. He was just a workhorse for this team. Yeah. 20 carries. They were feeding him all game. We've kind of speculated that we expect Harvey to get more and more carries as the season progresses. But the way Dobbins is playing, you don't need to do that. He's playing so well that he can kind of be your number one running back. There's no 1A, 1B. He's the number one, and Harvey's the number 2. It's very clearly outlined in my opinion. So I think Dobbins has been just, the MVP of this team through the first 5 weeks here now. Yeah. Just game in and game out, he shows up, he does his job, and the injuries were a concern, and they still can be as the season goes on here. But through the first 5 games, they have been, they've been giving him a lot of touches, and well-deserved touches, because the way he's able to run the ball and control the clock and really help Bo Nix out in terms of opening the pass game, because the defenses have to respect Dobbins and his ability to pick up 4, 5, 10 yards per play.
Yeah, I'm going to flip it over on defense. So encouraged by the pass rush. I know that's a bit of a layup. I mean, it's kind of low-hanging fruit, right? Because the Broncos' pass rush is so good and has been good for now a year and a quarter, almost a year and a half. But to see them sack Hurts 6 times on the road in a game where you just kind of had to keep grinding and hope that offensively Bo and company were able to find some rhythm and make some plays, and those guys just were relentless. I mean, we know about Benito, obviously, with the 2.5. Allen had a half sack, was so involved in the middle. A couple other guys. Singleton had a sack. J-Mac, we mentioned. Uwazurike was in on a sack. Different guys getting in there and making big plays. And, man, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see the Broncos force some more turnovers. Philly is not prone to do that. They had one coming into the game all year, and they didn't turn it over. But sometimes a sack can be not quite as effective, but just do so much to stall a drive. And I, again, was so encouraged, not by the fact that the Broncos had the pass rush, but in that situation against that team on the road when they had to have it, I thought was just so key.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. We don't see Philly turn the ball over too much. We also don't see them play behind the chains that often. So the fact that the Broncos were able to do that, and that comes with that sack and that pass rush, is, Philly's behind schedule. We didn't see any tush pushes, and that's because they never got in that 4th and 1 situation. Or 3rd and 1 situation, either they'll call that play on either of those. But the Broncos were playing ahead of the chains, or making Philly really earn their drives, and putting them in 3rd and 5, 6, long, or whatever you want to call that there. So I think the pass rush had a big help in terms of Philly not being able to take advantage of how good they are in those short yardage situations.
Yeah, it was just so encouraging, and I really do think they can build on this. We're going to get into that, and we've got to touch on the 2-point conversion. Did you think in the moment, in real time, Sean Payton made the right call before the completion, or should he have played it a little bit more conservative? We'll dive into that next as we continue on Denver Sports Tonight.
After 3 bad quarters, the Broncos offense rallied late and took down the Eagles for a signature road win. Can Sean Payton keep the momentum rolling as the team prepares to head overseas? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Brandon Stokel here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Do you need a new furnace, air conditioner, or heat pump? ROX Rocks Heating and Air makes it incredibly easy with their new, free, no obligation online heating and cooling quote. It takes less than 5 minutes and gives you options instantly. No calls, no waiting, and transparent pricing. Only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Fall means football, and at Postman Law, we know winning matters. Our attorneys have won more than $3 billion for our clients, delivering the results they need when life gets tough. Car crash, workplace injury, serious accident. We know the insurance company's playbook, and we're here to help rewrite it for you with speed, ease, and results. Call 844-POSTMAN or visit postmanlaw.com. Others promise. Postman delivers. This is attorney advertising.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call Trajan today at 720-405-3300. That's 720-405-3300.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
This is Jeff for Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I've been a patient of Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic for over 10 years.
I noticed that I was really tired. I was lethargic. I didn't sleep really well, and I was overweight. My waist was 4 inches over what it should have been. It was really difficult for me to lose the body shape I didn't like. And of course, my marriage, yes. No man in their 40s wants to have low libido in their marriage. I'm really thankful for this therapy because it just makes me feel the man I want to be. Active, at home, everywhere. If you're feeling like I was, call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today and get checked. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Thanks, Greg. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me."
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bonnie from O'Meara Ford has convinced me they really want to earn your business. So, talk to me, Bonnie.
Well, O'Meara has over 1,000 vehicles to choose from. Plus, we have the largest service center in the region with 84 service bays. And we've sold 1 million vehicles since 1913. Our friendly staff will treat you right. And when it comes to repairs, our knowledgeable technicians do it right the first time.
There it is. O'Meara saves you time and money, whether you buy new or used. O'MearaFord.com.
It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike and Dante on a Victory Monday on Denver Sports Tonight. Broncos over the Eagles. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. From the 96-32, Dante, the 2-point conversion call. Ballsy and brilliant. Go for the W. I think that's a great description. I really do. Ballsy and brilliant, both words totally appropriate. Did you think in the moment, and I know it happened so fast, even as we're watching the game, did you think that Sean was going to go for 2?
I did not think that was even on the radar, but I loved it once he sent the offense out there because I started to analyze the decision. This is before they even, successfully got the 2-point conversion. But your offense has been rolling. You kind of scored a little bit quicker than you were expecting to at that point, and your defense has been playing so well that they could go out and get a stop if you needed to. And it's at that point, it's almost nice to know, let's say they don't get it, that you're still chasing that field goal to take the lead later. I liked the decision. I really did. I thought the offense was playing well enough that just keep him out there and let him go for it.
Yeah, we had another texter on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 6629. I have not verified this. I had not heard this today. I'm not saying it's not true. The 2-point conversion was the first in Sean's career to take the lead. So I again, we check that out. I'm not disputing what the texter said. I just hadn't heard that today. And if that's the case, for sure, then man, I mean, you talk about a decision. And I said this last night after the game, Dante. When do you think? And I don't think he was asked this. Maybe if he was, I missed it. When do you think he made that call in his mind, that he firmly said, all right, if we score right here on this drive, I'm going for 2?
That I actually had not thought about that. I kind of assumed it was in the moment, but I don't know if NFL coaches do anything in the moment like that.
Yeah,
I feel like they probably
not.
have a little bit of a premeditated feel to that. So I don't know. In my head, again, I always kind of assumed like, oh, he just kind of, it felt right to do it there, but probably at some point halfway through that drive, he was saying, the offense is clicking. Let's go for it. Let's go for that knockout punch here.
Well, I was a little bit surprised, not because, Sean's known to be aggressive. In that case, I think the conventional decision clearly is to just say, kick the extra point. You've got the momentum. You just scored on back-to-back drives with a 3-and-out on defense in between, and you have to, not that you ever like playing the Eagles back there. It's such a dangerous team to play on the road, but you have to feel good about the way the Broncos were playing. And maybe just the momentum was also something that factored into Sean's decision. Like all of those factors I just mentioned, hey, I've got confidence in this group. They've got confidence in themselves right here. Let's go out and just continue that and take the lead with a play that, as Sean did say, that he really liked. He had a play or two, and he liked the call. Of course, he always likes the call.
Yeah, I don't think Sean's ever called the play he didn't like.
No, probably not. I thought it was I thought it was just a great decision. And when a decision like that works, even if you're not a Sean Payton guy, and I'm a Sean Payton guy, you have to give the guy credit. You absolutely have to give him credit, and he gets the credit. And the Broncos get the win. Now, Dante, as we look forward, as we think about the Broncos being in London this week, playing the Jets on Sunday, 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time start, and then coming back home for games against the Giants on the 19th, Dallas on the 26th, at Houston on November 2nd, Vegas and Kansas City here before the bye. The Vegas game will be on a Thursday night in Denver. I mean, all of a sudden, you look at the next run of games. Why can't the Broncos put a streak together? I think I would expect them to. I would hope they would be up for that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have 5 very winnable games in a row here. The next toughest game you have is, Kansas City, and that's at home, which is also winnable. So I didn't even include that in my 5 there, but, the London games can always get a little funky. The Jets look pretty bad, though, so hopefully the Broncos should be able to take care of business there. But like I said, gets a little funky out there. You never really know what's going to happen. But yeah, Giants, Dallas, Houston, Las Vegas, all those teams aren't good. The Raiders are surprising, to me at least, in terms of their record and how bad they've been this year, because I was expecting them to be a little middling, 6, 7, 8 wins, something like that. But they are not off to a good start. I think it's Pete Carroll's worst start as a head coach in his career there. So all these games, super winnable. They can get hot, and the Broncos are already, leading SportsCenter today. A lot of their talk was, or a lot of talk on, these national outlets are about the Broncos and Eagles game. Like Colin Cowherd's talking about in his show right off the bat. So this team can start to round into that team that we thought we were going to see before the season. We kind of, tampered our expectations after the Colts loss and the Chargers loss. But if they go on a run here, I think they're very much in the conversation with the AFC West and, make a little run in the playoffs.
All right, so 3 quick texts on the RamosLaw.com text line going back to Sean's decision to go for 2. From the 7376, don't give Payton so much credit for going for 2. He should have gone for 2 last year at Cincinnati. From the 8640, this is Terrence. Maybe it was the Bengals game from last year that initiated the 2-point conversion process in the game yesterday. And then finally from the 0558, Flagman says, learning lesson from last year versus the Bengals. I was initially, oh no, which turned into yes, great decision. Yeah, I was a little bit that way as well. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I would have been able to make that decision in that moment. I'm glad Sean did. I'm glad the guys executed it. But I don't know, maybe Sean in his heart of hearts, because I remember after the Cincinnati game, I was one of the few that was actually okay with the fact that he kicked the extra point in that situation. And he felt good about it after the game, as of course he usually does. And yet maybe he thought about it during the offseason, maybe thought about it at some point in the preseason and decided, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive when the situation calls for it. Either way, he does get credit for making that decision and the guys going out and executing it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, they're fairly different situations.
Sure.
That Bengals game. That's at the end of the game. That's, either you're losing or winning on that play right there. I actually like this decision a lot more versus if you would have gone for 2 in Cincinnati. I was fine playing for overtime at that point. I think the Broncos had some momentum going, and I think overtime, I think they could have won that game, should have won that game. I think the play calling in overtime was a little too conservative, but in this game, I think it's a win-win, like I said, where even if you don't get it, you still have a lot of momentum going, and you know that you're chasing points at that point to where you can, tailor your play calling to that. And as we saw, they went down and scored again anyway. So it wasn't super necessary to go for 2, but I think it definitely just, changed the momentum and kind of like I said, it was a knockout punch for that Eagles team where it was like, wow, I can't believe we blew this lead. And not only is it tied now, where that can still give you a little bit of hope for the Eagles, it's like, wow, we are losing this game. How did that happen?
Yeah. Finally, from the 3251 on the RamosLaw.com text line, he was playing to win and not playing to not lose. Gutsy, but I liked it. All right, the CU Buffs have some decisions to make. Up next, we're going to dive into the topic of whether switching quarterback is one of those decisions. It's Denver Sports Tonight.
TCU held serve at home and handed Coach Prime and the Buffs their second straight loss. With their season hanging in the balance, can Colorado find a way to get back on track and secure their first conference win? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Planning out your holiday pictures? Let's move you to the front because it's Soda Weight Loss. You could drop the belly fat and gain your confidence back, just like Ramon.
I used to dread those pictures. I'd position myself behind someone taller or make sure I was holding a plate so nobody focused on my belly. But that was before Soda. Soda gave me more than a smaller waistline. It gave me back the confidence to wear what I want. And they make it simple. No injections, no hunger, just a plan that works.
Soda Weight Loss is built for busy people like you.
I lost 82 pounds in just 16 weeks. No hunger, no drugs, just steady, real-life progress with the nutritionist who helps you every step of the way.
That's why Soda has nearly 9,000 Google reviews. And right now, the most popular offer of the season is back. Join today, and your partner joins free. Visit SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Did you know that I actually have some psychic abilities? Yep, had a new client come in the other day to get signed up, and she said, Dan, they've already made me an offer. And I said, well, let me guess. It was $1,500. And her eyes got real big, and she said, Dan, how'd you know that? And I said, let me take another guess. When you said you weren't sure, they said, okay, we'll offer you the maximum amount allowed of like $3,500. The client couldn't believe what she was hearing. But let me let you know in a little secret. I'm not a psychic. I just know all of the insurance companies' dirty little tricks. They use these tricks to put pressure on you so they can get off the hook cheap. At 303 Law 4040, we're here to make sure that they play fair. We're going to make sure you get feeling better and the insurance companies pay what's right. Call us at any time. You can speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hey guys, boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of, and he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house all cash and you can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins the drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike and Dante reacting to another loss this weekend by the CU Buffs. That's 3 in the last 4 games. Buffs cannot build on or even hold a 14-0 lead at TCU on Saturday. And the Horned Frogs rally with 21 fourth-quarter points to win it 35-21. So the Buffs are 2-4 at the halfway pole of the season. They've got to go 4-2 to be bowl eligible. And I think part of the conversation now, Dante, has to continue to be the quarterback position. What do you do if you're Coach Prime, Pat Shurmur, and the rest of that staff?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a good answer, to be honest. It feels like they're kind of in, a no-win situation. I think Salter's giving you a better chance than we saw from Staub in Houston. But there's a chance that just there's not a winning quarterback in this quarterback room right now for the Buffs. And it's only going to get more difficult. It's all conference games at this point. A couple of those teams might have a number next to their name. Talk about Iowa State or Arizona State left on the schedule there. So those will be tougher theoretically than the games you've already had. I find it hard to see this team going bowl eligible at this point.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, just to pick up on that, if you look at winning 4 of 6, 3 at home, 3 on the road. So you're going to have to come up with 1 road win, and that's assuming you sweep the 3 at home, which, as you said, a ranked Iowa State team at number 22. You've got Arizona on Saturday, November 1st. ASU comes in on Saturday the 22nd before Thanksgiving. Right now, the Sun Devils are 21st. You never know how things are going to unfold, but I mean, winning those 3 games at home is a tough task. I guess when I'm thinking about the quarterback situation, I think isn't the biggest question for Coach Prime and his staff what quarterback gives us the best chance to potentially go 4-2?
Yeah, absolutely. College football is a little different than the NFL. There is no tanking in college football. You try to go out and win every single game, no matter what your record is. So if it's Juju that gives you the best chance, go for it. I brought up on the drive that there might be an issue of eligibility, not in terms of he's ineligible, but if he plays in more than 4 of the games, then it doesn't count as a redshirt year. Maybe he wants this to be a redshirt year at this point, seeing that the Buffs are, most likely not going to do anything substantial. So might as well give him that extra year of eligibility at the end of his career here. So I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't know if there's a good answer for Dion in this team, and they would have had to be in a better situation already at the halfway mark. You can't be 2-4 going into a more difficult area of your schedule and be like, oh, well, let's turn this guy for a spark.
No, I agree, and yet when you look at the potential of Juju Lewis, I mean, if he were truly ready when the season started, and I'm not faulting the young man. I mean, he's a true freshman, for crying out loud. So I'm not at all down on that. But if he were truly ready right now, I mean, wouldn't they put him in? And I'm genuinely asking what the thought is there, because I don't know that anybody knows if he's truly ready, because we haven't seen him. We have really no clue what the development process has been like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that makes me think that he's not ready. And I don't blame him in any way for not being ready. He's a very young kid. He's got a lot of football ahead of him here. He early enrolled in Colorado, so he's even younger than he should be at this point for a college football player. So I don't blame him in any way. And I don't think it's, good for the Buffs to just throw him in there at the cost of, ruining his confidence and ruining his ability to go on and win games later in his career here. So it's not his fault he's not ready, but it does appear that he's not ready.
One would think, and if he had been ready earlier in the season, I think that's a decision you make, because obviously you want to compete in the Big 12. You want to at the very least, you wanted the floor to be making a bowl game, and that's an uphill slog at this point. What do you think about this Iowa State game coming up? This is one that I think is gettable. I'm not convinced about the Cyclones. Good team, good program, no question about both of those. I'm just not convinced that this is a game you look at the schedule and go, oh, that's going to be very difficult to win at home. I mean, I think you almost say Buffs have to find a way to win that game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we said it on Friday's show, is the Buffs' best chance of winning these games is when they're playing a middling, not upper echelon Big 12 team at home. And that's exactly what this game is. I know there's, Iowa State's ranked right now, but I don't imagine they'll be ranked by the end of the year. I think they seem more like an 8-4 kind of team. So this is a gettable game. I wouldn't predict CU to win it, but if you're looking for wins on the schedule, this is one that I think you have to have.
Iowa State is 2-1 in the league, 5-1 overall. But, I mean, they're coming off the loss at Cincinnati, had some struggles on defense, 38-30 the final. Again, nothing – the Buffs have not earned from me the benefit of the doubt to say they should win this game at home. The way they've played this year has just been too inconsistent, and it's easy to point to Caden Salter in that regard, but the defense has been up and down too. There have been times when it's been pretty solid. There's also been some times when you got to tighten up. I mean, you look at what happened in the fourth quarter on Saturday night. I get Josh Hoover can play. That was a disappointing defensive effort when TCU puts up 3 scores.
Absolutely. I know it's hard to do this, but I put a little bit of the poor defense from CU, the blame, on their offense. They're just not able to stay on the field. They put this defense in bad positions a lot throughout the game. We've seen that all season in terms of time of possession. Caden Salter having interceptions, giving the other team short fields. So I think a little bit of that blame on this defense does go to the offense and them not being able to, play complementary football. And you need to do that to win in, Power 4 football, in the NFL football, at upper, level football. You need to be playing complementary ball, and we just haven't seen that from the offense enough.
Yeah, and I guess going back to the quarterback situation and, what Prime might do at that position against the Cyclones, I mean, the more I think about this, Dante, I don't know that there really is a choice, because I think if Juju Lewis were a realistic possibility, I'd like to think that choice may have been made already. And I don't think you can go back to Staub after what we saw earlier in the year. I think you almost have to ride it out with Salter and just hope that as a group they can help him with the running game, and that as an individual he can make good decisions. We saw him be pretty decisive against Wyoming. I get it was Wyoming and not a conference foe. But I do think there's solid football in him. The question is, how consistent can he be with that throughout the course of a game?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. To me, there's a little bit of a lower ceiling with with Caden Salter as well.
Yeah.
So, like you spoke to, you're going to need some help from the rest of the team. You're going to need some help from the defense and from his receivers making plays, going above the X's and O's with some of this. So, there's only so much I see in Salter. He doesn't seem like he's not going to win the Big 12. He's not that kind of quarterback, but I think he can be a 500 quarterback, and we just haven't seen that so far this season.
I got to say, too, that, best wishes to Coach Prime. We can talk football. We can debate the quarterback decision. We can lament the fact that, the Buffs haven't been able to close out games, haven't been able to hold leads and all that. But, when he starts talking about the health issues that he's battling right now and was battling during the TCU game, man, my heart goes out to him. Sincere, prayers and good wishes to Coach, because you want to see him be at his best as well. That's a difficult situation.
Oh, absolutely. He's dealing with a lot off the field and on the field too. So a lot on his plate, and best wishes to him and his health. And you never want to see anything like that, even if you're the team that's going up against Prime. I don't think that's anybody's rooting for that situation. So best wishes to him, and hopefully he's able to coach the rest of the season and coach the Buffs for a long time.
Yeah, that's obviously the plan. When it comes to Juju, how much do you think, given just how young he is, how much do you think the consideration of saving this year comes into play, knowing that, again, I don't mean to single out Caden Salter. It's a team game, but he is the quarterback, and we know that's a significant position, obviously, and gets more attention than others. Maybe he wasn't quite the guy that the Buffs were hoping or thought. Still, again, shows some good football, not necessarily consistently. Is it a case where you just got to ride that out and hope you can save Juju? And with the portal now, how much does a redshirt year even mean? I'm kind of asking myself and you at the same time, trying to work through the meaning of a redshirt year is totally different now.
So I think the red shirt's very important still. We see older quarterbacks all the time at these, programs. We saw Dylan Gabriel at Oregon lead this team to a number 1 seed last year. He was a 5th-year senior or something like that. We see Haynes King in Georgia Tech. They were CU's opponent in week 1. Haynes King has been around college football for a very long time. I believe he redshirted at some point. So I think the redshirt year is still very important, especially in today's day when quarterbacks are staying around college a little longer, whether that's, the NIL money is a part of that, or they just don't feel the need to leave for that draft quite as early. I think we're seeing that a lot more. So I think the red shirt is very valuable still for a guy. And, no one's plan is to stick around for 4, 5, 6 years at a college, but a lot of these guys, that's the path they have to take, because they're not going to be, a knock it out of the park first-round draft pick after that 3rd season. So to me, it's still very important. And if I'm Juju, I'm weighing that as part of the process of if I want to play or not this season.
Saturday, the Rams back at home. They will take on Fresno State. That'll be a night game at 7, and the Buffs will have a 1:30 kickoff against number 22 Iowa State. As always, Dante, a lot of fun. Enjoy
Absolutely.
the week.
It's way more fun to do it after a Broncos W like that.
Especially that W, right? A lot of fun. He's Dante Gomez. I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for hanging out with us on Denver Sports tonight.
The Broncos took down the defending Super Bowl champs in the city of brotherly love. After a bumpy start to the season, as Denver finally found its true team identity. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Football is here, and Fitness Gallery's fall football sale is your playbook for a winning home gym. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit any of our 7 stores from Denver to Fort Collins and score big before the sale ends.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Cherdak from Denver Regenerative Medicine. When it comes to healing, there's no one-size-fits-all. Every patient receives a unique treatment plan designed just for them. We use either your own stem cells or carefully selected donor cells to treat degenerative joints, torn muscles and ligaments, and even back injuries. Our goal is lasting healing without unnecessary surgery. And right now, we're offering 10% off treatments through October. Schedule your free consultation today at DenverRegen.com. That's DenverRegen.com.
Is an IRS tax problem keeping you up at night? Well, join Todd from Advanced Tax Solutions for a free online workshop at 5:30 on Wednesday, October 8th. Todd will cover the 7 solutions to fix an IRS problem and get you on your way to having clarity and a plan with a licensed professional guiding your way. In this free workshop, he'll cover things like when will the taxes